Hello, it's Emma Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this. So here we have a little matchbox that has been covered with dreamscape papers, got some elements, blended elements, stamped some pink orbs, painted them with Poscas, and we've embossed, so don't forget to fly on the sides. But let me show you what's inside. This is the bird, and we've used pink orbs again as the stamp, coloured that in with Poscas. I think he looks a bit like a Gustav Klimt sort of painting, but I think this is a little bit of magic. A little bird that just says, in a box, I'm something special. Come with me and I'll show you how it's done. So we start with the bird, and first off we need some shrink plastic and a sticker stencil, the one that looks like a robin shape. And we'll pop that straight onto the shrink plastic and cut it. Now remember that you need to stick it on the whiter side of the shrink plastic. Here I'm using some white Posca pen, adding some water to it and just haphazardly painting into that shape. Okay, this is a bit one of those things where you sort of paint it and then you scrape it off again. To get that Posca paint, all I've done is push the pen down on my craft mat until it forms a reservoir of ink, and then I've added some water to it, and that makes it go further. Okay, so now I'm using archival ink, black archival ink, and the Pink Orbs stamp, and I'm just going to stamp it, and gradually I will fill up that bird with the Pink Orbs stamp. And if I've got any gaps, I'm just going to do my old favourite, dots and circles, and colour them in. Okay. Fab. Now archival ink will sit on that sticker stencil, so try and get it off as quickly as you can. So okay, here we're painting with the Posca pen. Remember what I said, you push your pen down, get a reservoir of ink, add some water, and this is using the red Posca pen. And I've just gone for the solid round shapes, and I've just filled them in. They're the ones without the circle on the outside. That was the glittery red, and now this is the pale pink. Just find a circle that you like the look of and just colour them in. You can either use them straight from the pen, or you can do what I did in the beginning and just paint them on. Now I love this glittery yellow Posca, it's so effective. Here I go again, stamping some more pink orbs, but the other way, from the top down now. There we go. Don't make life too difficult for yourself. You are allowed to turn your things the other way around so that you don't smudge stuff. Okay, so I'm giving him stripy legs. So he's got yellow, and I'm going to put some red on those legs as well. So he's got little stripy stockings. And now I'm just going to carry on with my red Posca pen. And I'm going to go with some blue in the centre. You can build this up as you go along. So I'm now using some gold. And I didn't want this too heavy, so I've diluted it, and I'm just moving it around to the places I want it to be. And here we go with the yellow. Pink Orb stamp is a lovely stamp for a pattern within a shape. I do love it. So now we've got the yellow. Now that's not got any glitter in that one. And if you've got gaps, just fill them with dots and circles. Fabulous. So I'm just going round some of the circles with yellow. You can use whatever colours you want. I'm just showing you what I went with. And here I've got a black Posca pen and I'm just going as close as I can to the sticker stencil, giving him a bit of an eye so that you can see the outline of him. Making him solid as much as possible. Pretty little bird, isn't he? So there we go, going back in with that black Posca again. There's that line I was telling you about. Giving him an eye as well. Oh, lilac Posca. This gives it another dimension. Lovely, lovely. Just fill in the gaps as you go. I've decided I want some blue in the centre because I think it'll just balance it out a bit. So this is the glittery blue Posca. Just stunning. As I said, just fill in the gaps as you go. Using the pattern from the Pink Orbs stamp as your basis. Ah, here we go, taking the sticker stencil off to see what our bird really looks like. And there you go. And we're going to cut him out. Now remember, with shrink plastic, you're better off just doing a rough cut, getting it to a smaller size of plastic before you cut it out to avoid any snappage. Okay, so once you've got your bird cut out, let's shrink it. And there we go. Don't panic, it'll all come out right in the end and flatten itself out. There we go. Make sure I'm just going to stamp it down with this tool to make sure it's flatter. And what's she doing now, I hear you ask? Well, this is the Zig two-way glue pen. Goes on blue, then you give it a little bit of heat and it becomes tacky. And I'm going to add some Fab Foil gold colour just to give it a bit of a bling. And I'm going to go round the edges. It's really quite easy to do this, which is why I love it. Okay, so just heating it up again, getting it sticky like the back of a sticker, and just rubbing that gold foil, gold side up. So onto the sides of that bird, and then we're going to turn it over. When I'm happy with it, we are going to turn it over. Oh, we're going to get it out. There we go. We're turning it over now. There we go. And again, using the two-way glue pen and just giving it a good old colour in. Heat it up so it goes sticky. And on goes the gold foil. Magic. Isn't it magic? Look at that finish. So that's what we're doing with the bird for the moment. Now we're moving on to the box. And here we go. It looks like I'm destroying it. Take the sleeve off your matchbox and flatten it out. For this, I'm just going to make myself a template. And I've just used some multifarious card and I'm drawing round the outside, and where there's a bend in the box, I'm just making like little lips. You can see this on the screen, so that when I cut it out, these will fold nicely over. It's almost like you're making a dress. Now on my template, I have just switched it round the other way so that all the side bits are exactly the same width. Okay, and now I'm just going to draw my line so I can see where I need to fold them. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, and now we're going to cut that out. Having a template just makes things go a little bit quicker next time. And if you're like me and you've got a whole load of matchboxes, there's going to be a next time. Righty-ho, now we're on to bending. So I'm using a palette knife here to just bend those lips over my ruler. And don't worry about those pencil marks. They are not going to be seen because this is just the template. Right, now that I've done the template, I'm checking that it's all going to fold over nicely, and I don't need those two lips, so I'm cutting them off. Hurrah! Okay, template done. I'm just going to write template on it so I don't lose it. Okay, here we go. Bippity boppity glue. Just going to make sure that this doesn't come undone. Giving it as much help as possible. So I undid the end, glued it, and now I've stuck it back down. Yeah, and there's a little lip that it falls into. So doing the same again. Folding it over. There we go. Job's a good one. So now we're going to decorate the matchbox. Hurrah! So I've chosen to use Dreamscape papers as my basis because I wanted something that already had a bit of pattern on it. And now I've just gone round my template with it, cut it out, and I'm folding it, just like we did before. Only I'm using my fingers this time because you can use a palette knife or fingers, depending on what you feel it needs. There we go. Now I want to use this pale green side. And I'm going to use some Elements Ink Sundance, and I'm going to find all the little circles and the orbs that are in this pattern and just give them a bit of yellow. A bit of interest, if you like. Change the colour slightly. The colourway. And I'm going with some Elements Ink Mermaid, bigger stencil brush this time. And I'm just going to go round the outside, blendy, blendy, blendy. And those little side bits, I want them to be quite a bit darker. Why, you wonder? Well, that's where I'm going to be doing some embossing using white embossing powder. And I need it to sort of help the writing to stand out. There we go. So it's changed it more towards the sort of palette that I wanted. That, by the way, was Elements Ink Mermaid. And now we're going for Don't Forget to Fly, stamping it with Versamark, and using Wow Embossing Powder, opaque bright white. Don't Forget to Fly. Look at it. It looks stunning on that. I likes it. I likes it a lot. I does. And I'm just showing you that I've done the writing, one facing out and the other facing the other way, so that when you do fold that matchbox, they're both going to be legible. So, Pink Orbs again, but this time using VersaFine Clair Paradise, and I'm only printing this 4 times. Doesn't need too much of it, otherwise we'll be here all night. Right, so my lovelies, we are now cracking open the Posca pens and going back in. This is my red Posca pen, and because I don't want water on this dreamscape paper, I'm just using it straight from the nib. So I've got my coral pink Posca pen, I've got my red, and what else am I going to use, I wonder? I'm going to try and use the same colours that I used on the bird. And just remember, there are bits where you can add extra interest yourself by adding some dots and circles, especially around the Don't Forget to Fly. This was the Lilac Posca pen. I find this really therapeutic. Just watching it, it's very therapeutic. I love the way the colours are all working so nicely together. It's pretty. Now, at some point we're going to change Posca to, I would imagine, aha, we've gone with the blue. Now I'm just doing little tiny blue dots. Oh, maybe they're not dots, maybe they're more circles that I've filled in. Fab. No rhyme or reason to this. You'll know when it's right. And there we go, we're just filling in those circles with the glittery yellow Posca pen. And it just makes all the difference. Gives it a little bit more oomph. Aha, we come to the great stickage. Bibbidi bobbidi glue, and stick your paper over the matchbox and just slide it into position so that you know you've got it covered. Okay, and stick down those lips. Jolly good. And the other side. Jolly good. Fab. Look at that. Marvellous. And now we're just going to glue that onto the Don't Forget to Fly, or rather under the Don't Forget to Fly, and just give it a bit of a helping hand and hold on to it for a bit. Now this is something delicious that is my first time using it, Metallic Gilding Polish, and this is Lime Burst. Look at the coverage on that. It's one coat, look at it. It's stunning. Now I am going to use 2 coats of this. Sorry I keep going off shot, I was just so excited. And I'm just doing the outside of it because I don't need to do the inside, I don't think. I'm going to be putting shredded paper in there. There we go. I'm going to leave that for a bit. And now I'm just going to blend it, if you like, round the outside of all the corners and edges of this box, just to tie it all in together, and rub a little bit on the sides of the bird, just so that green has a moment to tie in with the box. The bird in the box. How fab's that? There we go. In goes the shredded paper, making a little blue nest for our birdie. If you want to cover your birdie in glossy accents, go ahead, or you could even put a brooch on the back. But either way, my friends, you, my friends, have done it. Hurrah! Don't you think this is just such a lovely little project, a lovely little gift? You know, Christmas is coming at some point. We could maybe even do this for Christmas crackers. I think it's just such a great idea. Thank you for joining me on this little adventure for our bird in the box. Any questions, any comments, please pop them in the post below and I will do my very best to get back in touch with you. You take care and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.